Hello everyone, this is Lorena with Back to Country. Bienvenidos a mi cocina. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I want to share with you a Mexican tradition for Christmas. We make tamales. You can fix them with pork, chicken, or beans. There is a lot of ingredients in this recipe, and usually it takes a lot of prep work. Like yesterday, I fixed my pinto beans, I smashed them, and then I had to cut my cheese, cut some jalapeno peppers. I have to soak my tamale husks. They had to be soaked in so they can get soft. And then I have some lard, and this is pure pig lard. Sometimes it's hard to find, but you can find it. And then I have some chili sauce that I prepare already. At the end of the video, I'm going to show you, I'm going to write out all of the ingredients for you. It has guajillo chili, and this is chile ancho. And I have a lot of garlic and onions, and of course we have the masa, the flour. So, and then I started fixing up chicken broth over here with the chilies, onions, and garlic. Right now I am frying some chorizo, because I want to add my refried beans to it, and it gives really good flavor. Okay, right now I'm cooking my pinto beans. I added 1 whole onion. You can choose yellow onion, white onion, purple onion, whatever you like. And I added 6 cloves of garlic. Then at the end, in the last 5 minutes of cooking, you can add the salt. If you do it right now, then your beans are going to become really hard and they won't cook. So you just have to cook it for between 1.5 to 2 hours or so, or until they're done.
And before you started cooking them, you did what? You soaked them?
Oh yes, you had to soak them the night before, the whole night. Or you can do a quick soaking, which sometimes I do it when I don't have time to soak them all night because I forget. Then what I do is I boil them for 5 minutes, and then cover them and let it sit for 1 hour, and then start cooking them just like this.
Okay, so these, you soaked a bunch of beans for 24 hours. Then you rinsed them, put them in the pot, added water. Added 1 large onion.
Yes.
And 5 or 6 cloves of garlic. Sounds pretty easy.
Yes.
So how
or
come,
you can do the quick soaking, like I said.
So how come if I make them, they never taste as good as yours?
Because you're no Mexican.
Ah, that's the secret, huh? Okay. Well, there you have it. Beans for tamales. Of course, you gotta follow along for the next step.
Okay, so here are the ingredients for the tamales. We have the husks, the masa, which is the flour, the corn flour. Then we have pure lard. I have homemade chicken broth, sea salt, cumin, baking powder, some jalapenos, queso panela. We have the chilies, which are cascabel. We have the garlic, the onion, another kind of chili. I tossed the bag, so I wrote it down for you. Chili ancho. Okay, so these 2 chilies are not spicy. Don't be scared. And then I have my refried beans that I made earlier, which later on I'm going to fry them with a little bit of oil and put some chorizo, which is like Mexican sausage. Now let me tell you something. This cheese, queso panela, It melts very little, so it's perfect for to stuff the tamales with. I like to stuff them with this cheese and the beans. I am going to slice the jalapenos and the cheese, prepare everything in advance, and I'm getting ready to make them. So here we go. Okay, so now I added my refried beans. I'm going to mix them well, and after a while, like maybe I would say 10-15 minutes or so, when they start getting really thick and full of nice flavor from the chorizo, then it's time to turn it off. Okay, I want to show you what is chorizo. It's Mexican sausage, and there is a lot of brands that you can buy. So that's it. This is what I add to my beans. I usually wait until they start like bubbling, and that's why I say it takes between 10 to 15 minutes. But you see the color, beautiful red color from the chorizo, and it gives really good flavor. If you want to make them, vegetarian, because of course el chorizo is made with pork and beef, they have a brand of chorizo that you can buy them made of soy for the vegetarian people. But I prefer with the beef, the pork. That's the one that gives really good flavor. Okay, so now the beans are getting really thick, and that's what I want. They're almost ready. In the meantime, I'm going to pour my broth into the blender with the chili, the garlic, the onion. They're already cooked with it. A little bit of salt and a little bit of cumin. I'm gonna blend all this because then I'm going to use this broth to make my masa. Okay, now I am ready to liquefy everything. Let's see. It smells really good. Okay. Right now I'm preparing a paste. I added 1.5 cups of my broth. I added 2 chile anchos and 3 chiles cascabel, onion, half of my onion, and 3 cloves of garlic. Then this paste, I'm gonna add it to my mix. Okay, now I'm ready to start making the masa, which is the dough for the tamales. And I'm going to use 4 cups of flour. 2. 3. And 4. Okay. Then I'm going to add my broth. Okay, so now I'm going to pour my broth, 3 cups of broth. 1. I'm going to put 2 right now because I'm going to add my mixture that I made earlier with the chiles. So I'm gonna put 1 cup of this mixture, which is chile ancho and the other one. Okay. Guajillo, that's it. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for helping me remember. Okay, then I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of baking powder. 2 teaspoons, 1 and 2. 1 teaspoon of salt. 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of cumin. Okay. I'm telling you, there is a lot of preparation for this and a lot of work. So if you have a helper, that will be much better. So then I'm going to add 1 1/3 cups of lard. Take this little plastic out. Okay. 1, look at the pure lard. I don't like to use hydrogenated oils. So the lard that you find in the store, there is no pure lard. It has hydrogenated oils. And I prefer to avoid that. Okay, so that's 1 cup. 1 cup and and 1/3 right here. Let's see. You know, once you mix it, you can sometimes you can tell then it's a little bit more liquid. You can add a little bit more, or you can add a little bit more lard if you want to. But first you start with this and then you go from there. Okay, now I'm going to mix it. Okay. It has to be well mixed. And then after that, you need to let it rest for maybe 20 minutes or so. Cover it and then let it rest. And then you can start making your tamales. Okay, now the masa has been sitting for 15 or 20 minutes or so, and I'm ready to start. Now the husk has two sides, a smooth side and a rough side. This is very important. You need to spread the masa on the smooth side. You can spread it with a spatula, you can use a fork, you can use a spoon, you can use a butter knife, whatever you have available and whatever is easier for you. I have this utensil, which that makes it very easy to spread. Okay, so now my smooth side's right here and I'm ready to spread. Some tamales are made very thick and I prefer to have them, the masa just thin, because and then you get a lot of masa and not enough filling. So I like, you know, not too thick, not too thin. Just put a little bit of my beans or my filling, my chicken or pork, whatever you want. You know what? Some tamales are made sweet. So instead of putting the chili in the masa, they put sugar and then they put raisins and they make them sweet, which those are pretty good too. Okay, so then I put my panela cheese. This one is no cheese that it melts like mozzarella. It softens, yes, but it doesn't melt. And then I put some jalapeno if you like spicy or mild. Or you don't have to put them if you don't want to. Then I'm gonna roll them very tight and then I'm gonna fold the bottom part up, because and then when I put them in my pot, they're gonna be standing up like this. Okay, now see you in a little bit. My masa spreader works great.
If you're wondering where you can get one of those masa spreaders, I bought that for Lorena. I ordered them from online, and it was tamalespreader.com.
You can show.
So that's one and still in the package. I think I got a deal for buying more than one.
But we don't get sponsored by nobody?
Yeah, we're not sponsored by them, but you know, if we use a product that we like and it works good, we got no problem recommending it to people.
Yes, and I love it.
What this thing does, you can see it's got like a little lip on the edge, and so that lip keeps it raised up just enough to put the masa at the perfect thickness every time, and it just spreads it right on, and really easy. Definitely makes the job easier,
Faster.
and of course, you know, the best way to make these tamales is an assembly line. If you can get several people helping, you get one or two people spreading the masa, and then you know, put one person each on your ingredients. So somebody on beans, for example, they grab, as you spread the masa, they grab it, put beans on it, slide it to the next person to put cheese, and the next person for jalapeno, and then slide them to the next person and they roll it up. And that keeps it going really good. You can do it fast.
But
then you gotta share them. That's the bad part. So you gotta share them with everybody who helped make them, and you know, our family can eat some tamales, I'll tell you that much.
so we find out that I fixed them before with chicken and pork. It seems like my family likes them simple with beans, cheese, and jalapeno. Those are the best ones for us.
Yeah, Lorena invented this recipe. We've never had them like this anywhere else. You can't buy them like this anywhere. This is Lorena's own invention.
Version, yes.
And they're crazy delicious. We like them better than any other tamales we've ever had. And I had a lady that I hired to make some tamales, and I gave her that recipe to make them special for us, and she did, but I don't use her anymore. Last time I used her, her count was off, and she shorted me like one tamale out of every dozen. And I didn't like that too much because I was paying a premium to begin with. She was normally selling tamales for like $11 or I think $10 a dozen. I was paying her $11 a dozen to do these custom ones. And yeah, she still shorted me, so I don't use her no more. But it's a lot of work to...
It is a lot of work, yes.
To put these things together. And like I say, our family can devour them pretty quick, so you make several dozen and they don't last very long. Guess we need one of them machines that somehow does it all, like a robot or something. If anybody ever finds a tamale robot, let us know. Hey folks, Jeff here, Lorena's assistant. So we just finished putting that first batch of tamales. We tried something new. We've never done them in the Instant Pot before. So we tried to do a batch in here. And let's see how they look. Okay, well, they sure smell good, I'll tell you that much.
Close up over here.
A lot of steam coming off them, of course, because I just let it pressure down for about 10 minutes or so, and then vented the lid and let the pressure die down till the little pressure button dropped, and then we're opening it up. Check them out, and they definitely look cooked.
And we cooked them for 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
Not bad at all.
So normally what's it take? A couple hours in the...
Yeah, 1.5 to 2 hours, yes.
Yeah, so normally an hour and a half to 2 hours in the steam. What do you call it? Tamalera?
Tamalera. I will show you later.
And this time we did this batch. This first batch was only like 32 tamales. And there you have it. I'm sure they're going to be delicious. Okay folks, so here's a finished tamale that I took out of the Instant Pot. Looks pretty good. You can see this area down here that looks kind of wet. That's actually the lard. So good quality tamale has lard. This is the masa here. Doesn't stick to the husk, so unrolls right out of there just like it should. And that is a beautiful tamale. Now I'm going to take a bite out of it and we'll see. Oh my God, that's delicious. The best. Yum.
So now I am going to put the rest of the tamales in my tamalera. Let me show you. This is the tamalera. It's a big pot and it has the steamer in the bottom. So I need to put some water and then I need to arrange the tamales all around it.
Okay, so first thing she did is put water in the pan and basically just fill it up to the steamer line. Then put the steamer tray in, and then you got to start to organize the tamales, going around the deal, and just try to stack them best you can so that they hold each other up.
I usually make them here, like Jeff was saying. It was the first time we ever make them in the Instant Pot. We wanted to try. And
it worked. I mean, it worked. The nice thing was it was fast. The negative is that the tamales are a little bit too tall, so we had to like cut the tops off of some of them. And then the first go round, it got, because they were touching the edge of the pot on the inside, and that's where the seal works. It kind of got the seal dirty when we twisted the lid. It got into some of the masa and made the lid dirty, so we were leaking steam at first, and we had to like stop it and take it apart and figure out what was going on and clean it and then put it back together, and then we got it to seal and everything was fine. But I just think it would be better if it were taller. And since the Instant Pot, I mean, it's an 8-quart, so it's one of the bigger ones, but it's still just not deep enough really to do tamales well.
So the good thing is the tamales will freeze very well. And it will last you a few months in the freezer with no problem. And then what we do, we take them out of the freezer, and then we put them in a plastic bag. So when we put them in the microwave to warm up, they are like being steamed again.
Yeah, if you can.
Wait, no, I forgot to do something first.
I guess you could put them in like a steamer pot or anything, but we do them two ways. One way is we just take one of those plastic grocery bags and throw them in there, and then take the top and kind of tie it closed. Not really a knot, but just a single, I don't know what you call it, granny knot, but not double over. I don't know. I'm not a knot person, but anyway, tie it simple to close it off and kind of hold the steam in. That steams it real well. And then the other way she does it is on a griddle. She'll cook them almost until they're burning. The husk is burning, you know, to get it kind of crispy, and they're really good that way too.
Okay, so now before I close the lid, I need to put this so they can hold the steam in.
So you don't have to do this step, but the reason we do it is because we noticed that the steam will go to the top of the lid and then drip down into the tamales.
Yeah.
And you can end up with a few soggy ones. So by putting a towel in there, of course the towel gets plenty soggy, but it keeps all the condensation, vapor, water, whatever, out of the top of the tamales, and makes them cook better.
Yeah.
But we're probably the only people in the world that do it this way.
No, I don't think so.
It's our little trick, so don't tell nobody.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, so the pot is on the stove. We've got it on high heat. And what we're going to do is let it heat up there until it starts to boil the water and steam. And then we'll turn it down a little bit and just mainly keep it at a boil, but not on the highest temperature. Maybe on medium high, I guess. 3/4 temperature, whatever you want to call that.
And for 1.5 hours to 2 hours.
Yep, we'll steam them for 1.5 hours, 2 hours. That'll get them ready. So definitely the Instapot wins in the speed race. It's just not quite big enough to work well.
Okay.
Alright folks, an hour and a half has gone by, so we're about to check these babies out and see that they're done. So first thing we gotta do obviously is remove the lid. So you can see there was a lot of
condensation, and that's why we put the towels.
Pull the towels out.
Very careful.
Hot and steamy.
You use tongs if you need to. Yeah.
Alright, now we'll get a look at our
Just very careful. Let's put one. Let me get some tongs. Hold
on. They smell good. And steamed up the camera a little bit.
Okay, let's get this one out. Usually when you get them out first, they're very soft. So you just have to let it cool down a little bit so they become firm. Let's put it over here. So we just have to wait so to cool it down. Let's move it away from the heat.
Okay, we got them all out of the pan and they're cooling down. We made several batches of tamales and filled our freezer. Well, at least a little bit. And here's the final product. A nice couple of tamales matched with some shrimp chili verde enchiladas and some Mexican rice made with cauliflower. Let us know if you'd like to know how to make any of those items. Thanks for joining us. As always, God bless. Take care. We'll see you on the next one.